A 19-year-old man is walking alone in the dark. He is not lost in the sense he believes he knows where he is. He is on the phone with his parents, talking calmly, giving directions, correcting them. Then, without warning, his voice changes. He says 2 words. And after that, nothing. The question is not only what happened to Brandon Swanson. The deeper question is how someone can vanish while help is actively trying to reach them. To understand this case, it is necessary to understand the environment in which it unfolded. Southwestern Minnesota is not wilderness, but it is not urban space either. It is a landscape of farmland, gravel roads, drainage ditches, and rivers that cut silently through the land. At night, orientation depends almost entirely on familiarity. A single wrong turn can place a driver miles away from where they believe they are. This region has long stretches without lighting, minimal traffic after midnight, and roads that appear identical for miles. These characteristics matter because they shape how mistakes escalate. In May of 2008, Brandon Swanson was a student associated with the Minnesota West Community and Technical College campus in Canby. Finals had ended. The semester was over. Like many students that night, Brandon spent the evening socializing and drinking with friends. Witness accounts do not describe him as severely intoxicated. But alcohol, even in moderate amounts, affects judgment, confidence, and spatial reasoning. Especially late at night. Especially on rural roads. Shortly after leaving Canby, Brandon's car left the road and became stuck in a ditch. This is not unusual in rural Minnesota. Ditches are shallow, grassy, and often deceptive in darkness. Brandon was not injured. The car was disabled, but intact. He did what many people would do. He called his parents. The phone call that followed would last approximately 47 minutes. During that call, Brandon remained conscious, responsive, and engaged. He believed he knew where he was. He believed his parents were close. He told them he was near the town of Lind. His parents drove through the area, scanning roads and fields, flashing headlights. They saw nothing. Brandon saw nothing either. At this point, a critical dynamic forms. Both sides trust their own perception. Both sides assume the other must be just missing something obvious. Brandon decided to leave the car and walk toward what he believed were distant lights. This decision is central to the case. Walking seems reasonable when you believe help is nearby. It becomes dangerous when that belief is wrong. As he walked, he continued talking. His voice remained steady. There were no signs of panic. Then, abruptly, everything changed. Brandon said, "Oh shit." And after that, there was silence. The line did not immediately disconnect. There were no screams. No sounds of struggle. Just the absence of his voice. When morning came, Brandon did not. His parents contacted law enforcement. What followed would become one of the most debated aspects of the case. Brandon was 19. He was legally an adult. At the time, there was no legal requirement for an immediate, high-risk response to a missing adult. The initial assumption was that he might return on his own. This assumption delayed the intensity of early search efforts. Later that day, cell phone records shifted the entire understanding of the case. The call had not originated near Lind. It came from an area near Taunton, close to Highway 68. This location was miles away from where Brandon believed himself to be. The implications are severe. Either Brandon was profoundly disoriented, or something disrupted his understanding of his surroundings. Brandon's car was found in a ditch near Taunton. The doors were open. The keys were not inside. There were no signs of a struggle. From this point forward, every hypothesis depends on one unanswered question. What happened after Brandon left the road? Search teams combed fields, ditches, and waterways. Dogs were deployed. Attention focused on the Yellow Medicine River. A fall into water at night could explain the sudden end of communication. But searches produced no body, no clothing, no personal effects, nothing definitive. The absence of evidence began to generate alternative interpretations. Over time, the case split into competing explanations. One emphasizes accident and environment. The other allows for the possibility of outside involvement. Both explanations struggle with the same problem. There is no physical proof that conclusively supports either. What is beyond dispute is the institutional consequence of Brandon's disappearance. His parents pushed for legal change. The result was Brandon's Law. This law requires immediate action when an adult is missing under potentially dangerous circumstances. It exists because of what did not happen in the first hours after Brandon vanished. Brandon Swanson has never been found. His case remains open. His final moments exist only as fragments of audio and inference. What happened after he said those two words is still unknown. And that uncertainty is not an accident of mystery. It is the product of environment, assumption, and delay. This case is not only about a disappearance. It is about how systems respond when certainty collapses.